Hi friends, we're here camping again, and it's been uh, 5 camping trips since we've had our hiker, so we figured we might just kind of go over some of the stuff that we like and maybe what we don't like, or stuff that we found. So it's quiet today, so we figured we'd go ahead and show you some of the stuff. One of the big things, now this isn't part of hiker, but I do have a Parkit 360, so it's an electric trailer dolly that you can use to lift your trailer and kind of move it around, jock it around a little bit. Now, because of this is the lock and roll hitch, the hitch that comes with the Parkit 360 is a ball, so the 2-inch ball. So they don't have anything for a lock and roll, but they only have a universal adapter. I did have it way back here because there was no place for me to really mount it. So I had it back here, and it had universal mounts, which were horrible. You put any kind of torsion on it and they would slide, so I never used it, and we ended up just pushing this into our garage every time. But over the last since the last camping trip, was trying to devise a way to actually mount this. It took a little finagling. I had to do some grinding. I drilled 2 new holes. So these are 1/2-inch bolts that go through to hold the receiver onto on the frame. So I had to grind these out, and which made it tricky because this pipe was so close. But anyway, it's on there. So yeah, we'll find out when we get home how well it works. I never got to test it out yet, but it's on there nice and solid. So I guess we'll move around to the front. And the last camping trip that we were on as well, we were having some weird battery issues. So the fridge, and when we ran the our max air fan during the night, would drop our voltage down. It was getting down to, like, I think one morning it was like at 10 volts. We've got the LiPo battery, but so we couldn't figure out what was going on, and we would charge it up during the day. We'd get to 13.3 volts with this panel, and then I have a Jackery 100 watt panel somewhere, and but we would charge it up, it would get to 13.3, but by the time night came around, by the time morning was up, the fridge had shut off because of the battery protection. And we were down to like 10 volts, so couldn't figure out what was going on. Luckily, our EcoFlow, I think it's the River 2 Pro, what's currently powering our Starlink, that brought us home. I just hooked it up in here, and we were at, like, I think it had 40% battery left on the EcoFlow, and we went home, and then we got stuck in like 2 hours of bumper to bumper traffic trying to get back home. And we were like, oh gosh, this thing is gonna last. That still had 15% power. It ran the fridge the whole way home, which was awesome. I can't say anything bad about EcoFlow. Their batteries have been awesome. So, but anyway, so we were home. Then we were like, well, did our battery go bad? So we ran some tests. I fully charged it up on shore power when we got home, and then ran some tests. So ran the fridge on like max cool that I could get it on, just the fridge by itself, let it run for like an overnight type thing, like about 10 hours to kind of simulate that before hitting solar, and it seemed to run fine. It was at maybe just below 13 volts or so, when we checked it in the morning. So then I turned that off, I turned the fridge off, then I just ran the max fan on high for that same amount of time. Same thing, the voltage didn't really drop. Ran them both. It did drop a little bit. I think it was in the 12s after about 10 hours or so. So I was trying to figure out how to fix it. Looked online, and but the only thing that I found was to run the battery down. So I charged it fully. I ran all the lights. I ran the fan. I ran the fridge. I ran it for about, I think it was like 8 hours, and then after that threw it back on the charger, and then it came up to 14.6 volts, and it's been fine ever since. So take that for a grain of salt. I don't know much about these batteries and the trailer, how it works, so I just went off by what I found on the YouTubes, and it worked for us. So, but that's that. So that's where we're at there. Here's our hero in question. This is our EcoFlow River 2. This is the original one, our original battery that we had. We had a little Jackery 300. Then we upgraded to this, I think around, probably like during the holidays. It's probably on sale. It's not running our Starlink right now. I just turned it off since we're kind of just goofing around. But the Starlink is up, mounted up on the roof. I put it up there just so we won't step on it or kick it or anything like that, or if the dogs are wandering around, that kind of stuff, just to kind of keep it out of the way. But it's got a 15-meter cable from here, so you can pretty much stick it anywhere. Usually just kind of faces north, and
it's the Mini.
Yeah, we got the Starlink Mini. We've been getting speed tests. I've been getting like 140 megabits, 12 up. Although there is obstacles here because of the trees, but you know, there's only so much you can do. Another thing that we did, one thing I didn't like with the awning that we got were the straps. One of them was fine. One of them, for whatever reason, would slip, and especially if it got wet, it really would slip. So I went on to just Amazon, of course. I've got these small, these are like medium duty. I didn't want to get anything like heavy duty where I'm going to bend anything, so I just kind of got something comparable. It's like an inch wide, 15 feet long strap, but it's just a ratchet strap, just a regular thing like you would hold gear in the back of your truck kind of thing. But it made it nice and snug without damaging anything. And now now our awning is a lot tighter, so definitely paid off there. One of the things that we're glad we got is the sliding out table. So pretty much probably every video we have, you've probably seen. I mean, it seemed like I think I only prepped corn on this thing, but we do other stuff on it too, besides making corn. But it's been good. The only thing is, you know, we have a little clippy clip thing that we just put in here by the guide just to keep it from rolling back, because if not, if you bump it, it'll slide in. So if you've got something on there, you know, it can fall. Other than that, but yeah, this is the light that we've been using quite a bit, and there's a light in there too. But I would say this is a good one. Like, you know, if you're on a budget and you don't know what lights to get, definitely use this a lot more than the side ones. But, and then, you know, you've seen our faucet. This thing's been still running like a champ. I think it runs pretty much all camp on a charge. We go camping like 3 or 4 days, and then generally we don't have to charge it. If we do, it's just a simple USB-C, nothing too complicated. And then our table, some people have asked us before what this table is. It's a night cat, but it's nice, and it's a perfect height for Julie and myself for the table.
You can lower it too, it's adjustable.
Yeah, it's got little adjusting legs. Yeah, we got the 11-pound tank mounted to the side. We don't have one for on the other side where there was a shower. We got the shower enclosure, but not any of the accoutrements that go with it, just because if we did shower, we're probably going to shower in our Joolca, which I can show you later. Not sure what else there's.
And then instead of using this one, we just use this light because they're not too bright, and then they're rechargeable, so we're charging them right now with that. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I have a co-host. She's welcome to chat. But I think the only hard thing is when we got this stove, we needed a special hose that we had to order, and this is the Camp Chef. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
The Everest.
Everest Camp Chef.
We got there's another one, but it's bigger. And at the time,
that's the Everest 2.
Yeah, we weren't sure which one would fit, because we were going to originally set it on this table. So it was going to be too big if you set it on that one. This one, the Everest, would fit on that table if you went that route. But then we got the table
But this is really awesome though, having the sink there and the faucet.
Yeah.
Because I do the dishes and it's awesome.
And this stove has been awesome. I mean, we've all the camping trips that we've done, the other 4 camping trips, when I filled up we have a little 5-pound tank for our big Kahuna and our fire pit. I had to refill that just before this trip, so that, you know, whatever. But this thing, all the 4 other camping trips, all the cooking that we've done on it, I don't even think it took a pound of propane, so it barely used any, which is awesome. What else is there to show them, fellow co-host?
So I like this setup because we have our kitchen like completely outdoors, and that's how we like it when we camp, to cook outside, do the dishes and prep our food outside. So we have our prepping area right there.
We're gonna show them this.
Washing area over here, and our cooking area over here, and they're all like connected.
And see, look how nice, and the awning is a lot tighter than it had been with those other straps that I had.
Yeah, last time when it rained, when we camped at Kaibab, it was sagging.
And then these aren't the 270 awning poles. These are green elephants that we got off Amazon. Easy is, you know, twist these and pull them up, whatever. But there's holes already inside these beams. In there, like if I lift up, kind of see it. But yeah, I like setting these up than the original awning ones.
Yeah, we still bring those, but we have 4 of these green elephants from before, so.
And then we just, the mattress that we have is just narrow enough, so on each side there's like a couple, like an inch or 2, and then we just put the poles on each side of the mattress, so they're out of the way, but when you want them.
Yeah.
But yeah, no rain this trip, so we can't see how well my straps were gonna do, so that was kind of disappointing. And then
table and chair.
So this is where we had our coffee this morning, looking out at the beautiful wilderness.
Because we don't typically use the picnic table at the campsites, like we're using it to just store our stuff.
Usually it's kind of grungy.
Yeah, so
birds poop on it and stuff.
We're using that to have our meals and everything.
And then we can do a quick view of the. Well, it's not quite hiker related, but it's what we use for camping. So it can be divided in half. So you know, you can have a shower. So there you go. So you can see the shower. Oh, you can see my chuck bus. And then there's we have a cassette toilet over here on that side. That's where we do our business.
And then on that side we have our clothes bins, or whatever you call them.
So we can go in there and change.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get a rain fly for it. So there's none. This, when we bought it, it didn't come with one. You have to get it separate. When it did rain, it did leak. Nothing drastic. And then luckily our clothes are already in the waterproof containers, so it's not. It wasn't that big a deal. Plus the floor is, you know, designed for showers, so the water just ran out. So it, like I said, wasn't a big deal. But we'll probably get a rain fly for it eventually. But yeah, it's
so easy to set up and take down too.
Yeah, it's just basically you just pop these arms, lower the leg, or raise the legs, pop the arms, and it sets up in probably 30 seconds, maybe a minute at most. But yeah, real easy to set up. Even I can do it. So, and then of course these are our favorite. We've had these since we've gone camping, like 10 years almost ago. These are little Coleman lamps, and we were so bummed because we went to turn them on when we got here and they wouldn't turn on, and then I was like, oh man. So I thought it was just the batteries, so I swapped the batteries out, and then the new batteries it wouldn't turn on, so I was bummed because they were out in the rain when we had that heavy rain pour from our last video, and I thought, oh man, I guess it just didn't like that. So we went to bed and then woke up in the morning and the lights were on, so it's working now. So we'll take that for what it is. What else we got? What else can we show you that might have changed?
Oh, Gazeebo.
Oh, yeah. So we like these so much. We got 2 of them. So these really helped out in the rain, like in our last video. So we ended up getting another, and so we just stuck them together. They're not physically together, but they're side by by each, and super easy to set up. All you do is lift them up a little bit. There's an arm, or there's a thing inside. You just pop it, lock it in place, raise it with these little red levers, and Bob's your uncle. It's all done. It's like super fast. Not like we had a Bass Pro Shop canopy thing that just took forever. You had to stretch everything. It was miserable. This thing, I love this thing. So we got 2 of them, and then we don't even have these staked down, and even in heavy winds they really don't move.
Yeah.
So we got this too because Clonny, when he comes with us, he has Camp to Clonus, and we want to give him his tent didn't leak during the last storm. He's got a good tent, but we want to give him some extra protection too, so this would just slide over his tent.
And then, sorry to interrupt, but look at Booth. There's a mat over here, and she has her bed over there, and she chose to lie there on the ground.
And then here's our so this is the Delta 2. I think this one was just on sale before our last
Prime
camp.
Day. This was
Oh, for Prime?
Day. Amazon Prime Day.
So this is our new one. We wanted to get an extra one just in case. We weren't quite sure what was going to go on with the battery inside the hiker. So we were like, well, let's have a backup for our backup. So this is more, I think it was 1800 watt hours on this one. And then I've got it connected to our the EcoFlow 220 solar panel. That thing rocks. I got it up to 175 watts today. It was so nice and sunny. I mean, it's kind of in a bad spot now with all the trees and the clouds, so it's probably not providing much, but I'll probably take it apart here soon, or tuck it away. But the only thing I don't like about that one, there's no handles when you fold it. My Jackery has some handles. It's easy to kind of close it. This thing, there's nothing really to grip onto.
But it came with a bag though. Like, this is the bag for the EcoFlow, and then the Jackery, it just comes in this plastic bag.
That's my original shipping bag.
Yeah, we just carry it in that. We'll probably get a bag for the Jackery too. And then
that's that, and then I think I already showed them the Camping Moon.
And then our chairs, our swing chairs. So we got these swing chairs from Costco.
And we discovered something today while we were relaxing. It's like, oh, if you pull these and shorten them, you can lean it back further. So
yeah, or you can make it sit up more if you adjust the thing. And it has a 300-pound capacity.
So I'm testing that.
And Baba has
not broken it,
but he's not 300 pounds, of course, so it's good. And then instead of stool, because before we used to bring stool, and we've broken like a couple of them, so now we're using this for ottoman and stool.
And then this is
storage.
Just keeping our campfire stuff. So tumbleweeds, wood chips for grilling, some other stuff.
Fire blanket.
Yeah, and then hers I think has the other grilling stuff in there. So
yeah, so it's pretty sturdy, like because of these patterns.
It's not like a Home Depot bucket. It's
very
definitely
sturdy.
Yeah. I mean, you could stand on this thing.
Yeah.
Not that I would recommend it. Copyright. Not liable if you stand on a bucket and fall.
Yeah, but it's very sturdy, so you can sit on it if you have to do stuff, and then you can also put, what I did is put a yoga mat and then use it as a footrest.
And then mine has a little tool thing just to make it look cool, tactical. And then they've already seen the camping moon, as I grilled some stuff yesterday. This thing is awesome. I bought a cheap one from Home Depot, just a round tin kind, and all the stuff would always fall through it.
Yeah, this is heavy.
Yeah, this is probably like a 8th steel or something. Very sturdy.
Yeah.
And my little smoke thing in there. Might be grilling hamburgers later, so we'll probably back to this thing again.
And this one is just a table that goes around the grill.
Just added accoutrements.
Yeah, I wouldn't really recommend this table. I cut my finger on it because it was kind of difficult to set up, but maybe that was just me. And
then of course we've seen this. This is our big Kahuna.
Big Kahuna, yep.
And here's our little 5-pound tank.
So cute.
It is. But it does go quick. We used the fire pit maybe once or twice. And I think I had the fire pit kind of on medium to high. So it only lasted like a night, maybe a night and a half. So if you do bring a fire pit, probably want maybe an 11-pound tank. But as far as the grill goes, this thing, it'll last a long time for the grill. It's not as big a fire.
And I like this grill because you can adjust the legs. Like if you want to cook sitting down, you can adjust the legs, lower it. Like yesterday I was cooking sitting down, and then if you want to stand, you can raise the legs up too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then with the big Kahuna, like you saw the other video, basically I took the nuts that were with it, and I just put wing nuts so that it's easy to assemble, disassemble while you're out in the field.
And because unlike a scuttle where the pan is already attached, this one you can remove this, and so you can use different. You can actually use this as your only cooking.
So if you have a wok thing, you can use it this way where it's angled, and if you just have a regular pot, you just flip it over and it's flat. So she has a little
you can
thing.
use like different pots, pans, or whatever to cook on that. So if we did not bring our camp chef, we could just use this as our sole cooking thing. Yeah.
Anything else left in our tour? We got some lights that you would have saw when we watched our movie last night. We watched Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze. So we got new lights.
Yeah.
Solar power ones.
There's Boof roaming around. Boof.
But I think.
Come here, Boof.
So we were talking about some likes and dislikes. One thing that we both agree that we dislike about the hiker is the door height. Now of course that's our fault. Both of us are 6 feet tall. So when you go inside and lean in and you're digging around and then you're coming out, I don't know how many times I've cracked the top of my head off the top of the door frame, and she did it yesterday and hurt herself pretty bad. That's the only thing. So if we had like the off-road XL one or the extreme off-road, which is taller, it wouldn't be so bad, but of course then it's not going to fit in our garage. So I mean, it's nitpicky stuff, but that's probably the only real thing.
Papa, I did not hurt myself.
She did not hurt herself. I stand corrected.
I was just dramatizing.
But yeah, that's pretty much about it, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, and she forgot the hot dogs. We were gonna have hot dogs yesterday for lunch, and went into the fridge. No hot dogs.
Hopefully the hot dogs are not there in the garage.
We checked on the cameras. We didn't see anything, but anyway.
And the new fridge so far, the Iceco Fridge,
has been awesome.
Has been awesome so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then our other one was also awesome. Initially.
Yeah.
So
I think this one's a little better. Although, like you said, I think it is. This one inside, I think, is a tad bit smaller.
And I and the White Guy was filmed in front of a live